Ask Raven. The wise one listens and answers with song, from cedar shadows where old truths belong.
Ask Raven. The fall had passed, yet breath remained, the living heart still and restrained, but questions follow close behind. Long after danger leaves the mind, Raven has watched through age and tide how meaning walks where facts reside. For what seems chance to mortal sight may serve a purpose veiled from light. The cousin lived beyond that night. His road continued through the fight. Years unfolded, time moved on, new events would soon be drawn. There came a case the courts would hear a change that many still hold dear. Gladstone spoke through legal frame, a ruling carrying lasting name. The law began at last to see what coastlines knew from memory, that rights to fish were not confined to fruit alone for humankind, but trade as well, work honestly sustaining coastal dignity. Raven has watched how slowly change moves through systems old and strange, yet sometimes current shift at last, and something long denied is passed through such a ruling. Paths were cleared, opportunities appeared, many families felt the gain, relief arrived after long strain. The cousins' life had played a part, one thread within a wider chart. No single soul controls the whole, yet each may serve a needed role. Raven has seen how moments small may shape the rise or shape the fall. Had that night taken different turn, what later lesson might not burn? Humans often seek to know which single act allowed things so, yet Raven finds such answers where time weaves patterns everywhere. Years continued as they do, seasons changed their shade of blue. The cousin's health began to fade. Another journey now was made. He traveled south through island lines, seeking care through passing time, but mortal paths must end one day, and his could not forever stay. His passing left both grief and pause. Another moment without cause, the sailor thought of that past night. The voice, the fall, the cedars might had intervention shaped. The thread had time been given, still ahead had purpose guided, unseen hand or had events moved as they planned. Raven has listened long to those who wonder how such mystery flows. Humans often wish to see a simple chain of certainty, yet seldom does the answer stand so meekly placed within the hand. Not long after the cousins and the sailor's strength began to bend, dullness came with steady claim. Life no longer felt the same, shingles burned with patient fire, strength fell low, energy tired, days grew slow, movement slight, time stretched thin from day to night. Raven has watched how illness speaks a quieter voice when body weak, for when the strength of flesh is low, the unseen winds more freely blow. One silent day while resting still, too weak to move by force of will, the sailor sensed what few may know, a presence formed a steady glow. The cousin stood beside the bed, not as remembered once he tread. He stood upright with warrior air, a strength beyond what flesh might bear. His garment formed of leaves arranged a shape both age and slightly strange. Strips of green fell straight and long, a figure calm, a figure strong. Within his hand a spear was held, its meaning quietly compelled. No anger moved within his face, no fear disturbed the quiet space. He stepped beside the resting form, a presence calm, a silence warm. He touched the spear against the side, not hard, not cruel, not filled with pride, then spoke the words once heard before, words spoken on that night of yore. Get up, kid, simple phrase yet filled with memories. Deeper ways, the same words spoken of the truck when fate itself had tested luck. The sailor rose, though strength was thin, as though new breath moved deep within. The illness slowly lost its claim. The body did not feel the same. Raven observes it does not claim to fully know from where this came, for healing walks where meaning lies. Not every truth is seen by eyes. Some bonds extend beyond the breath, some ties continue after death. Some guidance comes when least expected, some strength arrives when least directed. The sailor thought of years now gone, of how that voice had carried on from warming first beside the truck. The second moment through strange luck was guidance given once again. A quiet age beyond all can humans ask if fate is real, if choice alone directs the wheel. Raven replies with tempered view, both paths may sometimes still be true, for choice may stand where paths are laid, and both may shape the plans once made. The sailor wonders even now what force had guided when and how. If he had stayed outside the door, what might have changed forevermore? Would later tides have turned the same? Would Gladstone still have carved its name? Would families still have gained their chance? Would time have altered circumstance, or was the path already known long before the seed was sown, long before the night took form, long before the first small storm? Raven has listened to this plea. Humans seek certainty, yet often questions serve the role of shaping how we view the whole. The sailor asks and wonders, yet would he repeat the choice once met, knowing all that came to be? Would he step back or still agree? Would he return to that same seat? Would he accept what he might meet, or would he leave events to flow, allowing fate alone to show? Raven does not decide the end. Raven observes the paths that bend, for sometimes answers do not close, sometimes the question simply grows, and Raven finds this often true. The question shapes the one who knew, for every life contains one door, one choice that echoes evermore. If you have stood where choice divides, where unseen currents shape the tides, leave but a word of what you know. Raven observes the paths we go. If you would hear what waits once more, turn again to Cedar Shore.
What you forget, Raven remembers. Through fire and embers, Raven remembers. Nevermore, nevermore, nevermore.